Here in the strategy room, we're glad to welcome the Florida Representative Kurt Kelly. Hey, Kurt, how are you?
Great. Thank you for allowing me to be here with you.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, this is very indicative of why CPAC happens and why it's been so successful after 37 years. It's a place where Republicans, conservatives come, they exchange ideas, people that want to run for office. We just saw Florida Speaker of the House, Marco Rubio, making a passionate speech, drawing on his biography and his story. He, of course, elevated by this faction of the conservative movement, the Tea Party group, distanced himself in the paper today. I mean, there's so much going. It's going so fast and fluid now, it's impossible for reporters and anchors like myself to keep up with it. You're a representative in Florida. You're challenging the incumbent Alan Grayson.
Alan Grayson.
I had the opportunity to attempt to interview him one time on Fox News. We can talk more about that later.
I remember seeing that.
But I imagine, you know, as a colleague of yours, Marco Rubio, you know, who better to talk to you than you, Kurt? What's he like? What kind of guy is he?
Well, I want to say two things. First of all, you mentioned two of my heroes. First of all, Ronald Reagan. I've been part of the conservative movement, the Reagan Revolution, for many, many years, involved in this process. But it's always great to have a young man like Marco Rubio, who was my speaker in the Florida House. And he not only talks the talk, he walks the walk. He is a man that has a great passion, but he has a great vision of where we're headed, both in the state of Florida. When it came time to balancing the budget, Florida had a balanced budget. We're not like some of the other states that are in real trouble right now. We had to make very difficult decisions, and Marco led us through a lot of those things. So I'm very honored. He is my good friend, and as we talked the other day, he said he'll take care of the Senate, and I'll come in and take care of the House, and we'll take America back.
That's great. Well, Florida Representative Kurt Kelly joining us here in the Strategy Room, which has gone on the road. We're at CPAC in Washington, D.C., the largest gathering of conservatives you'll find anywhere in the country in an important year. You're trying to get into Congress. Part of the sentiment, the energy here at CPAC is this anger, this absolute disappointment in Washington's leaders. How do you read it? What's your take on what you see happening in Washington? And why in the world do you want to get elected and come here? Are you not reading the papers and watching the news? What's happening with these guys?
Yes, but you know what? This is my America, and our founders understood that it's not just out of frustration, but it's out of vision of what a nation can be and what it should be. And I have taken those same values to the Florida House of Representatives. I was originally appointed by Governor Jeb Bush to local government, and then I ran for State House and was elected there. And I represent the northern portion of District 8, the one which has been hijacked by Alan Grayson. And so when we started watching what Alan Grayson and his liberal antics, his potty mouth, his shock jock mentality, and he's been an embarrassment to the entire Central Florida District. And I have been the antithesis of that. I, as a member of the Florida House, I can passionately debate issues on the floor, stand for our conservative values, and yet I can do it with dignity. So I want to bring a congressman that we're proud of. But I also want to come in and engage the Republicans. I think that it's incumbent upon every generation to make sure they send their leaders in to go in and to make a difference and to truly represent the values of their constituents. And I believe that there's been this concern, and even among the Republicans, that have sort of backed off. I don't think we should back off. Now's the time to become aggressive. This is that same revolution that Ronald Reagan talked about nearly 30 years ago. And now here I am able to come right in and to take the same message.
Thanks for being here. Florida Congressman, State Representative Kurt Kelly challenging the incumbent Congressman Alan Grayson, U.S. Congressman. And in fact, Congressman Grayson, in fairness, if you're watching the Strategy Room, which we hope you are, we'll find a way. Give us a call. We'll find a way to put you on and let you have your say as well. Because we want to be fair and balanced. But Kurt, you're challenging him, and you had some pretty strident words there. You're saying the out of control Alan Grayson. I mean, what is it about? I mean, let me just sort of set the scene in case you're not familiar with Congressman Grayson. every party has some outspoken members. They're not in the leadership, but they certainly get a lot of attention, drive issues. Congressman Alan Grayson, as a freshman, it's his first term, has quickly made a name for himself and had some very strong language on the House floor saying that the Republicans' health care plan was for old people to hurry up and die. That, of course, gets a lot of attention. But as a serious congressional challenger, what is it that you believe you offer that Alan Grayson doesn't, and why are you better fit to lead than he?
I believe it was Samuel Adams that said that a person, he actually put it in the negative. He said no one should ever be elected unless they first have experience, training, proven virtue, and demonstrated wisdom. I can talk about Alan Grayson all day. He is a man that has been vulgar. When he can go on national television and use the term in texting language, STFU, and speak to Dick Cheney and tell him to STFU. I didn't even know what that meant. I had to look at my daughter and said, Kayla, tell me what that means. And she said, Dad, you don't want to know. I said, yes, I do. I want to know what that means. She says,
I don't want to know. Earmuffs.
It means shut the F up.
I see.
Outrageous. And yet he used it in a language that our children understood. Yeah, I'm outraged by that. The truth is, I think that we as conservatives, we have a message. We have a message that believes in the hope of America, the very vision that our founders believed in. That is inculcated in every decision that I make. I have a proven record of being a conservative. I don't have to just go talk about it or what I might do. I can actually point to the record and say, this is what I've done. In Florida, we've balanced our budget. In Florida, we've had to come in. It was Thomas Jefferson says, sometimes you have to take a pruning knife to government. In some cases, we've had to take a chainsaw, because we've had to actually make some very, very difficult decisions in Florida. And yet we've been willing to do that. And we've done it with dignity and respect for even the other party. And I think that's important. That's what Central Florida, my home, that's what we want. We want somebody who's going to go to Congress, be strong, be passionate, be conservative, take the right positions, but do it with dignity and respect.